purpose of this video is to review multiplying polynomials. Go ahead and title the next page in your spiral notebook, Multiplying Polynomials. Watch the video and take notes. This first little part here you don't need to take notes on. You can just kind of watch, just reviewing our two methods. The box method organizes the two binomials by putting them on the outside of the box. To get the inside, you multiply each row, each column. So 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times 5 is 10x. 3 times 4x is 12x. 3 times 5 is 15. And then combining our like terms here, 12x and 10x is 22x. So my answer is the trinomial 8x squared plus 22x plus 15. Now another method is the FOIL method or the distributive method. This one just simply is distributing each of the terms in the first binomial to each of the terms in the second. So x times x, that's x squared, that's our first. X times negative 2, that's negative 2x, that's the outer. 5 times x is 5x, that's the inner. And 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. That's the last. Again, combining our like terms, and that's our final answer there. So what our answer should look like most of the time is a trinomial, 3 terms. Sometimes it'll be a binomial. Now here's where you're going to pick up your pencil and start writing. I'm going to do number 1 using the box method. In the end, it doesn't matter which method you use. Use the one that makes the most sense to you. So I'm going to put my 3n plus 2 here. I'm going to put my n plus 3 here. And then I'm going to multiply. So to get inside each box, you multiply that row, that column. So 3n times n is 3n squared. 3n times 3 is 9n. n times 2 is 2n. 2 times 3 is 6. What's going to happen usually for your box method? Those two middle terms are going to be like terms, so we can combine them. They have the same variable raised to the same exponent. So I get 3n squared plus 11n plus 6. And that's it. For number 2, I'm going to use the FOIL method, the first, outer, inner, last, or the distributive method, which is really what we're doing. Again, if you prefer the box method, you can do the box method. We should get the same answer. So here, doing the first, n times 2n is 2n squared. n times negative 2 is negative 2n. Negative 1 times negative 2 is negative 2n. And negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. So once again, my middle two terms here are like terms. Signs are the same, so I add and keep the sign. Remember, when you combine your like terms, your exponents do not change. All right, let's look at 3 and 4. For 3, I'm going to do the box method. I actually prefer the box method. If you prefer FOIL, you can use FOIL. So I put my 2x plus 3, my 2x minus 3. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x. 2x times 3 is 6x. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Now this one's kind of a tricky one, because when I go to combine my like terms, 6x plus a negative 6x is 0. So on this one, I actually get a binomial. You may recognize this as our difference of squares. That's one of our special cases. And it happens when your two binomials are the same except for the sign in the middle. All right, last example. I'm going to go ahead and use the box method for this one as well. So I'm going to do r plus 1, r minus 3. Multiplying r times r is r squared. R times negative 3 is negative 3r. r times 1 is 1r. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. And combining our like terms. Be careful with your signs here. So r squared, and then negative 3r plus 1r signs are different, so I subtract and keep the sign of the larger. And then minus 3. So that's all there is to multiplying two binomials. You can expand this if you have a binomial times a trinomial, or you could use it to do just simply the distributive property if you wanted to.